always afraid I'm gonna forget that.
But you did it. Well done.
One more minute. Thank you all for coming. I'm going to call the meeting and hearing of the Development Review Board to order. Our only visitors in the room are for one of our cases. Andrew Morrissey, are you here for one of our applications?
Yes, I was given notice on the zoning permit 2024304 for 36 Twin Brook, I think just as an abutting landowner. So I was just monitoring the proceedings.
You're here for 36 Twin Brook Road?
No, I'm an abutting landowner to 36, so I was given notice of the application.
But you are here for that application.
Oh, that's the one that I'm
Thank
here
you.
to listen to the proceedings on. That's correct.
Thank you. Chris Mays, are you here because you had nothing else to do tonight?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Well, good to see you. Good to not see you, Chris, but thanks for joining us. Okay, so I have no additions. Does anyone else have additions to the agenda? No. Thank you. Approval of the minutes, we're gonna have to defer January 6th. Charlie would have to be here. We can do December 16. That was me, Crystal, and Diane. So does somebody want to make a motion?
I'll make a motion.
Thank you, Crystal. I'll second. All in favor, Cheryl, I.
Crystal, I.
John Gannon, aye.
Diane, I.
Thank you. Okay, thank you. Thank you all. Would you guys like to come up and sit at the table? You get to sit at the table when we hear your application. And I'm sorry, but what is your name?
Richard Allen.
Richard, are you're not on the, are you on the deed?
I think so.
I think so. Yeah, okay. So you'll be a witness?
Will you be providing any testimony?
Huh?
She's asking if you're going to provide any testimony.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, thank you. So I'm opening the hearing on application 2024-304. Property address is 36 Twin Brook Road. The owner is, I will not say this right.
Maria, you can say
Maria Soares. Soares, thank you. And your name again?
Richard Allen.
Thank you, Richard. And the proposal is to add 2 bedrooms for short-term rental use for a total of 6 bedrooms. You currently have approval for 4 bedrooms.
That's correct.
And this is in the residential district, and this is for up to 12 people in accordance with your septic plan. The applicable code sections are Article 2, Section 221, 222, 223, 224, 226, 227, 271, 272. Article 4, Section 420, 440, 450C. Article 7, Section 710, 720, 721, 722, 730A, D, and H. Are there any conflicts of interest on the board or ex parte discussions?
No.
No.
Thank you. So are you going to give testimony, sir? Andrew, are you going to give testimony tonight?
No.
Thank you. Okay, would you two please raise your right hand? And please raise your right hand. Do you swear the testimony you provide is the whole truth and nothing but the truth? Thank you so much. We, our policy is that we have one of our members kind of manage the hearing, and I'm happy to say that Diane is managing yours tonight. Diane Abate is Zooming.
Hi. Are you handing it over?
I sure am. It's all you.
Okay. All right, I thought you were going to give a little intro on the
No, that was the
two.
sum.
Okay. All right, so great. So glad you're here. I've got some paperwork to go through, just some procedural things, looking at your exhibits. I will start with just making sure your application is complete. I've got exhibit 1, which is the DRB cover sheet. Exhibit 2, the public warning. Exhibit 3 is your application, which is 3 pages. A floor plan of what looks like a master bedroom. The list of abutters. Exhibit 7. Oh, looks like I got a little out of order here. Yeah. Exhibit 4 is your floor plan. Exhibit 5, a site plan showing your septic design, your existing septic, and a hand sketch of parking for 6 cars. Right. And then I also have your original application for 4 bedrooms that was approved administratively back in November. Okay. So let's see. Article 2 is basically more sort of administrative procedures. It just describes why you are before the DRB, and that is because you are coming to get approval for 6 bedrooms, and anything over, is it 5 bedrooms that you need to come to the DRB? I forget if it's 5 or 6, but you are in that cutoff.
Anything over 4.
Anything over 4. Oh, thank you.
Oh, Jessica's here.
So Jessica's here. All right.
Yeah, sorry, I had trouble with my computer.
That's all right. And it just, again, it goes into some administrative things like who can attend and be heard at a public hearing. And that was one of the reasons why Cheryl went through the list of people who are in attendance if you are going to give a hearing. And then if there's any changes after a DRB board decision, you need to come back and get approval. There are no, once you get a decision, that's it, unless you come back for another decision. Any questions about that? Oh, okay. All right. So give me a little rundown of what it is you're doing, just a little kind of in short couple of sentences.
Thank you.
Sorry.
I don't think that they heard you, Diane.
Oh, if you could, Maria, or is it Alan
Richard,
or Richard, just give me a little summary of what it is you're doing. You have 4 bedrooms, you're adding 2 bedrooms.
sure.
Yeah.
We're seeking approval just to change the records, I guess, on our occupancy in our 4-bedroom home. It's had a 6-bedroom septic for 30 years. It's been a 6-bedroom home for 30 years. So I don't know why it was built as original home, and then he built another piece onto it, and then built another piece. So he kept on building on, but he designed the septic in the beginning to accommodate for 6 bedrooms. And that you saw the master bedroom, that was a piece that was added on in maybe 91, and there's another piece that was added in 2000. So it's kind of added on over a period of time, but it's been that way since 90s kind of thing too. It just, when we bought the house recently, it showed 4-bedroom, and then we checked out the septic and checked with Merrick Mondell, who's still doing this stuff apparently. And I saw the original plans. He said, yeah, I set it up that way, 12-bedroom, 6-bedroom septic kind of thing too. So,
Okay.
so we're just looking to change that. We're living there full time right now, but plan to rent it in the future on occasion.
Okay.
I don't know how much, but
Okay, so there's nothing really changing. You're not adding bedrooms.
Exactly.
You're not adding
No.
bathrooms. It's just okay. All right.
Yeah.
Okay. So you are in a residential district, and short-term rentals are permitted. It's just, again, anything over 4 requires you to come to the DRB. And because of that, we take you through a series of standards that are in our zoning guidelines, and that takes us to section 7, which goes through some performance standards and lists. And I'll go through a series of questions and you can respond. This is mostly just to see that what your use is compatible with the area. It's not going to be a nuisance to neighbors, that sort of thing. So under 710 for use performance standards, the first topic is vibration, that there will be no continuous, permanent, or ongoing or frequent vibration that is discernible at the property line. So as a result of this being a 6-bedroom and having multiple guests, the question is, will there be vibration that'll be discernible at the property line?
No.
Okay. Noise, continuous, permanent, ongoing, or frequent noise in excess of that of a normal conversation, and reoccurring periodic noise in excess of that of normal lawnmower at property line is allowed, provided it does not occur between the hours of 9 p.m. and 7 a.m. So those are sort of the kind of quiet time after 9 and before 7. Is that seems? Yes,
that's
no, okay.
No
All right.
problem.
Okay. Air emissions for commercial operations, I can skip that. That's not applicable. Injurious or noxious practices. No operations shall create electromagnetic, liquid, or solid refuse or waste, et cetera, et cetera. I mean, you don't plan on having any hazards on the property or explosives, and maybe a couple fireworks on the 4th of July. That's not what we're talking about. All right. All right. So under section 720, again, there's a conditional use standards and site plan design review. And this is basically to say that you've submitted enough information for the board to understand what it is you're doing, what the layout of your land is, and we have enough information to make a determination. So, and I would say, based on everything that I believe we have what we need. So we can move on to section, unless any of the other board members feel something is missing.
No, thank you.
Don't have any
Okay.
questions.
All right. So now we go on to general standards under 721. And this is basically to just make sure that any land use is not going to have any adverse impact on the community or traffics and roads, bylaws and ordinances, air quality, character of the area. I think D is, renewable energy, natural resources. I don't think that we can skip. And those are all, based on how you're going to use the space. Do you see any impact to any of those items?
No.
Community, traffic, bylaws, air quality, character of the area. I mean, it doesn't sound like you're making any changes to the building, to the outside. So this is really just go.
No,
Okay.
yeah, no changes are being made.
Right. Okay. So there's no impact there. Okay. Section 722, conditional use, preserving the character of the town. Make sure I have that on. Yep. All right. So again, these short-term rental is in keeping with the sort of nature of the residential area. These are, properties that are leased by people to come up and enjoy Vermont and the scenic area. And that is in keeping with the residential area, right? We're not doing anything unusual. It's nothing out of character. So let me make sure I've got all these. So do you see, does anyone else see any reason why, you know, this is not in character with the area. And I think it's pretty self-evident, right?
Yep, no problems with it.
No problems there, okay. And let's see, 7:30, specific standards, and we go into a series of specific standards, and again, it doesn't sound like you're making any changes to the property, and so these should be fairly easy as well. So lighting and starting with A, lighting and glare, all exterior lighting shall be shielded and downcast. So this is really, you know, so you don't have bright lights that are pointing into neighbors' windows and are a nuisance or a distraction.
No,
That'd be fair to say. And Andrew, I know you're not testifying, but I'm sure that's fine. All right. Safety shall minimize physical hazards where there are any potential safety hazards. Is there anything that will be going on in the property that could be deemed a safety hazard, physical hazard? I'm going to skip commercial parking, or do I have to go to? No, parking is part of this, right? Because we have a requirement for short-term rental of 0.75 parking spots per guest room. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So you did show a hand sketch with parking for 6 cars, and you might have up to 12 people. So are we looking at having a need
Well, yeah.
to
We have
park 9
parking for
cars?
16 cars if we really want to or more. So we have 7 garages and driveway around and a pole barn. And so, yeah, that shouldn't be, parking shouldn't be a problem. We just parked out 6 spots for illustration purposes, so.
All right, because you would need up to 9 based on the zoning. But it's a fairly large property.
And the 0.7 per bedroom, isn't it? Or 0.75 per bedroom? Right, okay. The 4.5.
Is it per bedroom or is it per guest?
It's 0.75 spaces per bedroom.
Oh, bedroom. Oh, okay, so you're fine. All right. All right. Moving on. Wastewater and potable water. There is an existing septic that was designed for up to 12 folks. Is that what we had on here?
6 bedrooms.
6
6
bedrooms.
bedrooms. Okay.
No, it did have 12 occupancy on it as well. Your wastewater permit will always have number of people. So that's important that they know that they're capped at 12 people,
Okay.
occupants.
12 occupants. Okay.
We now have that as a condition.
Yeah, I saw that.
Okay. That concludes all of the sections.
I have no other questions. Crystal, questions?
I do not have any other questions.
John, questions?
No,
I have
thank-
one thing.
Go ahead.
I just
And-
want to mention that this will bump them up into the 2nd tier for the fire marshals. So just remind them to get their change of use and change of occupancy permits from the fire marshal as well.
Oh, right. Okay.
Thank you, Jessica. Does our butter have any comments?
No comments. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks for coming. Thank you all for coming, and I've now closed this hearing. So we will get the answers to you via Jessica Roberts.
Okay, can we take our sign down or leave that up still, or?
That stays
That
up.
needs to stay up until the appeal period is over. So that's 30 days after their decision is made.
Okay, it's still up, all right.
Okay, yeah, we will make our decision quickly. Jessica will get that to you. And then, as she said, there's a 30-day comment period after that. And at that date, then you can take it down,
Okay.
the permit.
Okay.
Cool.
Super.
Yeah,
Thanks for
everyone.
coming.
Appreciate it.
Time.
Good night.
Good night, thank you.
Okay, so now I will open the hearing on application 2024. U 320, property address is 17 East Main Street. Have a seat. Thank you. The owner is Coriston Reed Development Group LLC. And the proposal is to, after the fact, change of roofing materials in the Village District Historic Design Review overview. And we are going to look at applicable code, section 2, article 2, section 221, 222, 223, 224, 226, 227, 271, 272. Article 4, section 420, 440, 450B. Article 5, section 500, 520, 521, 522, 530, 540, and Article 7, section 710, 720, 721, 722, and 723. Are there any conflicts of interest or ex parte discussions on the board?
No.
Thank you so much. Would you please raise your right hand? No, you don't have to stand up, but that's okay. So, do you swear the testimony you provide is the whole truth and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Thank you so much. And as I said earlier, we have one person who case manages. Crystal is your case manager, so Crystal's got it.
All right. Okay. All right, so before we start, I'm going to read off the exhibits and make sure we're all on the same page about what we got with your application. I have a Town of Wilmington cover sheet. Number 2 is the notice of the hearing. Number 3 is the application for DRB review, which was 3 pages long. Number 4 is an applicant information sheet, which I think was from Jessica, but I'm including it. It was in there. 5 is a violation letter from the zoning administrator to the applicant, which was dated 16 December. It looks like she has a note on here, came in to start permit as I was mailing this hold. Number 6 is a suspected violation report form where she just writes in details of the conversations you guys had. Copy of email from the zoning administrator to the applicant regarding the application fees, the timeline. There was 2 of those. They've been included in there. One from 12/9 and one from 11/26. Number 8 is a Vermont property transfer tax return for the property address 17 East Main. And number 9 is the abutter list and postage date for the notice mailing. Sound right?
Sure.
Great. All right, so before we begin, why don't you just briefly explain why you're talking to us?
So we put a new roof on. It's leaking. We bought the property, once again, one of the great properties from Renault portfolio. Closed on it from Ellen. And tenant called, there's a leak. Pretty bad, we had a window. Got the guys on it, got it done. I do understand in the bylaws of the historical district, there has to be slate or gray metal. And at the cost of that, there is no way that I'm installing that on these properties. They're investments and they're falling down. Lack of maintenance.
So do you understand now that you have to come to us before you change it to get the,
I do.
Okay.
I don't agree. But
well,
that's
that's,
because I look at the buildings I bought and there is vinyl siding on them. There is clapboards, there is cedar shaped roofs, metal roof, rubber roof, shingles, and a little bit of slate. So I would like to at some point get to a happy medium that I'm throwing money into this valley.
Do I understand though that if the material is a replacement of exactly what's already there, then that's repair and maintenance?
yes, it's only if you're making a change.
It's if you're changing the material from something else.
Well, I just used one material, which is why I'm here.
Yeah,
Right.
but you're saying
yeah, but
that what went on the new one is an asphalt,
Or
or
it is asphalt.
asphalt is what went on to this one, and what was
There
taken
was-
off was what?
A little bit of-
But there was some slate There was a little of everything on that roof.
Yes.
Well, all I'm saying is that in the future, when you have the next leak, if you could just talk to Jessica, we could probably make it a lot easier.
I did come in and I talked to Scott. Jessica's had the time off at that moment. It was holiday time, I believe, right around Thanksgiving. And I can't have water pouring into somebody's bedroom.
Yeah.
So it was roll the dice, just get it done. And I talked to Scott. Scott called Jessica and said, hey, I said, listen, I'm gonna do it. So.
Oh, that's why you're here to see us now.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you did it. Cool. Okay, well. All right, so just so I'm making a note for myself, the roof was a mix of materials, some of which are allowed in the historic
Correct.
ordinance, some of which are not.
Yes.
And then all of the mixed media were removed and what was put on was asphalt.
Asphalt's a slate gray.
Okay.
To tie in with other town bylaws that would fall in the historical districts.
So it's slate gray, asphalt
Column.
shingles or whatever
Yes.
they're called. Okay, perfect. Okay. All right, so I'm going to read through the stuff that I'm required to read through now. So Article 2, which is the first one that was assigned to your case, talks about the administrative procedures. It provides the guidelines for the administrative procedures associated with our zoning regulations. It outlines the role of the DRB, what development requires our review or written decision, what requirements exist for a complete application, how the DRB makes decisions, the process to follow if you wish to make changes after you get a decision. It explains that public hearings are held by the DRB and that appeals are handled by the Superior Court of Vermont Environmental Division. And also it outlines who can attend a hearing and be heard at a hearing. So that's Article 2. There's not really any questions for you except for, do you understand that article? Okay. Article 4 talks about the districts and the uses. You've heard all of this before. So the property is currently being used for residential.
Yep.
You are in the village district and you have this special designation of historic design review overlay.
Correct.
Yeah. Okay. Village historic. Okay. Which takes us to Article 5, which is the design review district overlay district breakdown. So like you were mentioning, there's some specifics in there about what can happen in the historic district. But basically, the beginning of Article 5 talks about the authority over the historic district, the purpose of the design review district, the boundaries of it, the goals of the reason that that overlay exists, why you need to come see us and when you need to come see us, and then the site plan and design review standards. So I think specifically what you were mentioning when you mentioned the approved materials is section 531. Zoning permit from the zoning administrator is required, but no development review board written decision and approval required if you do those things. So all it's saying is that if you don't want to have to come see us, then you could do it that way. And like you mentioned, that isn't a cost-effective method for what you're with your portfolio of properties. So in that case, you'll just need to check in with Jessica and, I don't think it's so that way, if something's happening that's not within these boundaries where she can't just give you the approval, then you would just need to see us.
No, she's doing her job and.
Yeah.
We checked in, but. I
Yeah,
think
yeah.
It was time sensitive.
For sure. No, I understand that.
Yeah.
And I'm sure your tenants appreciated you doing it for them sooner than later.
I thoroughly love throwing money.
They're like, November.
I
Yay.
just want to be sure you guys can hear everything there. John and Diane, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So, does anyone have any questions about Article 5 or specific questions for what happened? The roof?
John, Diane, any questions?
No,
I mean,
but just then, Crystal's voice became very low.
Just now?
Yeah, just now, after you asked the question, if we could hear.
I'll speak right into the microphone.
You're
Perfect.
just so soft.
That's better.
I was more concerned about you because you're not
Yeah.
anywhere near the microphone.
He has
But
his
I guess it's
voice fills
working.
the room. Okay. All right, so that was Article 5. Now we'll look at Article 7, which is the use performance standards. You've heard all of these before, but we specifically have to ask at all of them. Any vibration, noise, injurious or noxious practices as a result of the new roof?
Gotta ask.
I know, I could still laugh.
You can definitely laugh. I think we're all laughing, right?
The general standards, the proposed use or the new roof shall protect against any adverse effect on the capacity of existing or planned community, municipal, or educational facilities, impact on the traffic or the roads, bylaws and ordinances that affect at the time, utilization of renewable energy sources, air quality, the character, aesthetics, and scenic value of the neighborhood, which it seems you've probably improved, so thank you for doing that. Section 722, conditional use, preserving the character of town. Obviously, you know, the properties that you have acquired sit in prominent areas in our town, and we appreciate the time and energy and the money being put into them. So thank you for, you know, continuing to keep them up and make them look nice. As you stated, some of them have been in very poor condition. So I think it's great that, you know, we can try to make them look a little bit more presentable for town, which obviously encourages preserving the character of town. 7, I think I've read all of them, 720,
You got it all.
721, 23. Anything else that you want to let us know about the roof or the property?
I mean, I think that anything outside the property, we're good for now until we decide it, but that's not coming up anytime soon. I got enough other problems in other buildings that
Fair.
need attention.
Diane, John, do either of you have any questions?
Nope.
No,
Thank you very much. Then I will close the hearing. Thank you for coming in.
Thanks
for your time.
having me. Is that it?
That's it.
You're
Thank
free.
you. You know that we will do our decision, get it to Jessica, and she will get it to you.
Come down this road.
What?
Thank you.
Have a good night, everybody.
Thank you. Take care.
Okay, I'm officially recusing
And you
myself.
are moving. You here for this one? Just like Chris Mays, nothing better to do tonight? Thank you. Okay, so I am going to open the hearing on application 2024-327. The property address is 129 Vermont Route 9 East. The owner is Lane Property Management, and the agent is Crystal Holt. The proposal is to retain restaurant use in the current restaurant building and add change of use in the detached building from storage to coffee manufacturing in the commercial residential district. And we are looking at applicable code sections, Article 2, Section 221, 222, 223, 224, 226, 227, 271, 272, Article 4, Section 420, 440, 450E, and Article 7, Section 710, 720, 721, 722, 730A and D. I did ask you, John, if you found anything, if I missed anything, because we can add it now if there is anything I missed.
I don't believe so, Cheryl.
Thank you. Okay, so to the board, any conflicts of interest or ex parte conversations?
No.
Thank you so much. Crystal,
Yes.
please raise your right hand. Do you swear the testimony you provide is the whole truth and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Meg, were you planning to testify tonight?
Unless anybody has a question.
Do you want to just raise your right hand? Do you swear the testimony you provide is the whole truth and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you so much, Meg. And we are turning this one over to John Gannon. Thank you, John.
Thank you, Cheryl. All right. So first, I'm just going to review the exhibits. Crystal. The first exhibit 1 is the Town of Wilmington cover sheet. Exhibit 2 is the warning. Exhibit 3 is the application for DRB review, which is 3 pages in length. Exhibit 4 is the parking site plan. Exhibit 5 is an aerial photo of the property. Exhibit 6 is an email from Brian Holt to Jessica Roberts, our zoning administrator, dated 12/16/2024. Exhibit 7 is a town view photo of the property and surrounding properties. Exhibit 8 is a current layout plan for the property. Exhibit 9 is a proposed layout plan for the property. Exhibit 10 is interior photos of the property, and there are 3 photos. Exhibit 11 is an abutter list and postage date for notice mailing, which is 2 pages in length. Exhibit 12 is lighting information, that is 2 pages in length. Exhibit 13 is photos of proposed location of new lighting, which are 2 photos. And finally is the Exhibit 14, which is the conditional use permit for the property dated May 8th, 2003. That was the previous conditional use permit for the property.
I don't think I've seen that.
You haven't seen it? You want?
You should definitely read it.
Okay.
Hold on. Let me get it for.
Well, I mailed it to the whole DRB, so you should have it in your emails, Crystal.
Here you go.
Well, yeah, I probably should have.
Thank you, John.
Okay, Crystal, do you want to give a brief overview of the project, please?
Yeah, sure.
If you, do you want to take a minute to read that?
You-
Well,
you-
I kind of do, but I'm happy to give you a brief
You
explanation
can, you
first.
can take a minute to read it.
Are you sure?
Yeah, take your time.
Only Chris Mays is the only one who needs to find something to do. Chris, you need to start coming to our meetings again. I haven't seen you in so long.
Yeah, you guys have been doing all the STR stuff lately.
You mean we're just not exciting?
I don't know. They probably are exciting times, but I can't really. I don't know.
They're not, they're
all that.
boring.
Definitively not exciting.
Okay. All right.
But we
so
have
this-
our town plan coming up
That's a good
soon.
thing. That's a good thing.
I'll come visit soon.
Thank you, Chris.
Okay, perfect. Got it. Thank you very much.
Okay, Crystal, you just want to give a brief overview of the project, please?
Yeah, sure. So basically Starfire Bakery, which is currently located at 103 West Main, and 1A Coffee Roasters, which is located at 123 West Main, are going to merge together as one and occupy the former Wilmington House of Pizza building.
Yay.
Yay! Have space for a larger kitchen operation, which the bakery currently needs, and put the coffee roasting operation into the garage, which is amazing, and also provide seating so people can actually sit down and enjoy their coffee and their baked goods, which our current locations don't support. And you know, I guess we're moving from West Willie to East Willie, so
To the right side of town, right?
It's just gonna make it easier to stop and pick up pastries.
that's the hope.
The
That's-
better thing is the parking, guys.
Yeah, there's lots of
Oh,
parking.
man. Oh. All right.
Okay, Crystal, I know you're pretty familiar with this process, so you know what I'm about to go through. So I'm
Yes.
going to go through the various articles and ask you some questions, which I'm sure you'll be prepared to answer. So the first article is Article 2, Administrative Procedures. That this section, and Cheryl listed the various sections that are relevant to this hearing tonight. Just go through our procedures, which as a member of the DRB, I'm sure you're very familiar with. Do you have any questions about our administrative procedures?
I do not.
Thank you. The next article is Article 4, which are the various districts and their uses. Your property is in the commercial residential district, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, and its tax map parcel number is 21-20-22-43. And the current primary use is as a restaurant, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, and your proposal is a change of use to what would be a restaurant and a coffee manufacturing facility.
That's correct.
Okay. So you understand that both the restaurant and manufacturing are conditional uses in the commercial residential district, which require a DRB written decision. Okay. So now we'll go on to Article 7, which are the standards. The first is Section 710, which is use performance standards. So I'm going to start asking you a series of questions about those use performance standards. The first one is vibration. Will there be any continuous, permanent, ongoing, or frequent vibration that will be discernible at the property line?
No.
Okay. Noise. Will there be any continuous, permanent, ongoing, or frequent noise in excess of a normal conversation at the that can't be heard at the property line?
No.
Okay. Will there be any noise after the hours of 9 p.m. and until 7 a.m.?
No, there will be baking, but no noise.
Okay.
Delicious smells.
Yes. Wafting of fragrance, but no sound.
Okay. Will there be any emissions of dust, ash, smoke, or other particulate matter on the
No.
property? Okay. Will there be any operation or use that will create electromagnetic, liquid, or solid refuse or waste, heat, cold, dampness, explosive, fire, glare, or other hazards which will cause injury or damage to a human, an animal, a vegetable, or the property?
No.
No. Great. All right. So now we'll go.
May I interrupt?
Sure.
Can you give us the hours of operation, please?
Yes. So as I have learned from previous experience, I would like to ask for the maximum hours that we would ever be open.
We taught you that.
In order
We
to
taught you
capture
that.
any possible, so I think that what would be best is to ask for 7 a.m. until 9 p.m.
Thank you. Any questions on that?
Nope.
And this will be Monday through Friday or Sunday through Saturday?
The goal.
7 days.
The goal would be 7 days
7 days.
eventually. Yes.
Okay. Any other questions on that before I
open
stop
year round?
interrupting John?
Open year round?
Absolutely.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Cheryl. All right. So now we'll go through the general standards. So will there be any impact on traffic or roads, or it's already exists there as it was a pizza restaurant?
Yeah, and it was a pop and spot. So I think it knows how to handle the flow.
Okay. You're not utilizing renewable energy. We've already talked about air quality. Is it going to impact the character, aesthetics, or scenic value of the neighborhood?
I hope that it improves it by filling an empty building.
Okay. All right. Next, we'll go to the conditional use specific standards. First of all, lighting and glare. All exterior lighting in all districts shall be shielded, downcast. Interior and exterior lighting, glare or reflection are prohibited if they constitute an unreasonable nuisance to other property owners or tenants, are found to not contribute to the aesthetics, scenic value, or character of the area, and could impair the vision of pedestrians or the driver of motor vehicle or an aircraft. And so you provided exhibits of the proposed lighting. You're going to remove some lighting. Is that correct?
Yes. So currently underneath the awning that you can see in some of the lighting photos, there's a red and blue awning on the exterior. Underneath that is some light fixtures. They look like the fluorescent tube type light fixtures. And those, I never saw it myself, but I'm assuming they illuminated that awning. So when we take the awning off, we'll remove those lights as well. And then want to try to put the down lighting on the soffit instead to provide exterior lighting. It'll be, within the soffit, everyone calls them different things, wafer lights, can lights, any of those names. But they'll provide downcast lighting on the perimeter of the building.
Right.
Okay.
If you've ever driven by Brattleboro Savings and Loan, they also have that similar lighting style. It looks really nice. So we're copying our neighbors.
Okay, and you provided pictures of where that soffit lighting is gonna go.
Yeah, and I mean, the dots may not be in the exact right location, but you get the idea. They'll be inserted into that soffit area.
Okay. Next, we're gonna talk about parking. So a restaurant requires 1 parking space for every 3 persons permitted for occupancy by the Vermont Department of Labor and Industry. It's my understanding that the restaurant is currently permitted for 45 occupants. Is that correct?
Yes.
40, right?
Or
No,
40.
40, okay.
Hold on one moment.
Yeah, I was questioning that. Do you have your sewer allocation from John Lozelle?
I do. Let me just check here.
That'll have an occupancy on it.
All right. Oh, that's the wrong attachment. 129. So according to John's email, it does say 40 seats.
Okay, and are there employees?
Yes, there will be employees.
How many?
There will be on a shift, you're asking, or just total?
Shifts?
Yeah, it'll be at least 4. I'm
Okay.
anticipating 4.
So 4 employees.
Correct.
Okay. Okay. And there'll be manufacturing. Manufacturing requires 1 parking space per employee per shift. How many employees do you intend to have?
1, it's me. I'm the coffee roaster, just me.
1 employee. Okay.
So the section that had been turned into the carpet store,
Correct.
what are you doing with that?
So we would like to merge the 2 spaces into 1. Currently, there's a wall that separates those 2 spaces. We are working with contractors to see if we can remove that wall and then create all 1 open space for the bakery.
As it was.
I never saw it before, but
It was
okay.
all 1 open.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah. So go back to that.
Yeah, I mean, that's my recollection, right? Thank you.
Okay. So I did have 1 question with respect to the photo that you provided. It shows all the parking spaces, but in the parking spaces that are near the garage, there are 3 refuse containers, which are blocking one of the proposed parking spaces.
Yes.
Where are you going to move the refuse containers?
So we have been having a conversation about what would make the most sense there. We have to check that the truck can access it if it's this is going to create a weird orientation, but where the garage is located, there's space in between it and the primary building.
Right.
And it's easier for a truck to just back straight in, to dump it, and then back straight out. So the access is actually better than where the parking space is drawn. So the idea is to put it in that location. We just need to verify that the overhang doesn't present any impact for the truck's accessibility.
Okay.
But that was what we were aiming for.
Okay, great. Does anybody else have any questions about parking?
Nope.
No, thank you.
All right. Do you have any questions, Crystal?
May I interrupt super quick, John?
Sure, absolutely, Jessica.
Hi, I see Lord, I see you're online. You joined us online, and I just wanted to let you know you left some paperwork in the town clerk's office. And she was going to email you and let you know, but I didn't have a way to contact you. So I'm just taking this opportunity to let you know about that.
What was that?
The individual who joined the call,
Yeah.
Jessica, didn't have a way to reach her, but she's on the call now, so she just told her that there's some paperwork for her.
So, and she did not get the paperwork?
Mm-mm.
And who are you?
Jessica, that's not relevant to this hearing, right?
It's not, it's just an aside.
Okay, okay, just want to clarify.
Thank you, John.
I have no further, I mean, unless Crystal has any questions, I have completed my questions. Or if
I
anybody
don't
else,
have any,
No.
I don't have any
No.
questions. The only thing I was going to mention is that when we calculate the number of employees, which we have enough parking, so it doesn't matter, but I only roast one day of the week. So, you know, one day of a week, there's parking required for the manufacturing, and then otherwise it's not.
So you will be using the combined space for your coffee sales as well as your bakery sales?
Correct.
Because now the coffee is sold, I think it's open till 2 or something.
Right, at our building?
At your
Yes.
building,
We're
yeah,
open every
right.
day from 8 to 3. And on
Right.
the weekends till 4. Yeah.
And did you ever get the outside sales? Did that ever happen where you were gonna be, people could drive up and buy coffee?
We have like a kiosk on the outside, but it's not prepared coffee. You can just purchase bagged coffee.
Right.
Like through a QR code. Yeah, that's
That
out
is,
there.
that is. And were you planning to have something like that at the new site?
No, that's not part of the plan.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. That's the last of my questions. Anybody else?
Nope. Good.
Meg, I'm sorry, Diane.
I'm good. No questions.
Meg, did you have anything? Okay, thank you for coming. Then, thank you all. I'm going to close the hearing. Appreciate it. Okay, thank you, everyone. And now, we'll go on with our meeting. I have no new or old business. Does anyone have any new or old business?
no.
Okay, then I will hear a motion to adjourn, please.
I make a motion.
I knew that was gonna happen.
Thank you. You want a second?
I'll second.
Meg, thanks for coming. Good night. All in favor of adjourning?
Hi, Crystal.
Aye.
Cheryl, aye.
Diane, aye.
Thank you. And so I am going to now close the door and turn, well, yeah, but we gotta stop recording. Ms. Coleman, we are finished with the open part of the meeting. Thank you for coming in.
Thank you. Hi, Crystal.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye. Leave.